Today I'm standing in front of a Navien NPE180S that we installed 3 years ago. The customer called me last night and said there's water all over the place, water leaking out of the water heater. Of course, the first thing I thought, oh, another leaking heat exchanger. Yes, I have to deal with this condition quite often. Naviens built in 17 and 18 will develop heat exchanger leaks. I don't know exactly what the reason is, maybe because of the materials they used for the heat exchanger, but I get to deal with leaking heat exchangers quite often. In fact, this is why I actually have a spare heat exchanger in my truck, so I can get this resolved within a single trip. This is how it looks like. Today I will be replacing the heat exchanger of this Navien NPE180S. I already called Navien, send them pictures and video of the condition, so they will get it approved and ship me the replacement parts so I can restock again. Let's go ahead and take care of this. The first thing to do is to make sure we drain as much water as we can from the heat exchanger. I'll attach that hose here and open the flush valves. So I keep those valves to the house isolated. So now I'm just working on the water heater. Do this. Not bad idea to actually get a second hose for the hot side as well. Here we go. Minimize water spill as much as we can. Alright, let me unplug the water heater. And I like to start from the top. Okay. Another problem I experience with those Naviens is a leak behind this water valve. So every time I install a new water heater or I come across an old one that I'm servicing, I'll just go ahead and tighten those two screws. to make sure and minimize the possibility of leaks down the road. All right, let's keep going here. Those are the freeze protection warmers. Maybe not this one. Sometimes those heat exchanger leaks get that bad that the water actually will shoot out through the air intake. So from here, up there, all the way out from the air intake, and this is why we see this water spill inside the water heater. I think the fan is fine because they're smart, they designed it smart. Even if the water is shooting through, the water will go down by gravity and the engine, the motor of the fan will not get affected. So I had to replace heat exchanger on a few of these units that had a lot of water leak through the fan assembly, but the fan assembly did not get damaged because the motor itself is all the way on the top. So Navien designed this water heater really smart. Now, if you get the water heater, the Navien Tankless water heater with the built-in circulation pump, then you don't have those warmers. To some extent, those with the built-in circulation pumps are easier to replace heat exchanger because of that fact. Although you will have something here in the way, but still. Okay. Heat exchanger is ready to come down. It's important to have your screwdriver magnetized so the screws stick to the screwdriver when you pull them out like this. I got that. Here it is. I'll put this on a side and get the new one. All right. All right, one important thing here is the flopper that prevents carbon monoxide leaking inside the room of where the water heater is located. And remember, you still have to grease anything that's rubber if you want your installation to be easy. And actually I go to that extent where I'll actually grease this part right here so it swivels with no problems. So when the fan blows in this direction, when the water heater is burning, this flopper will open and allow for the airflow, but at the same time the flopper will prevent any carbon monoxide or anything that's harmful to leak back into the water heater, thus into the room where the water heater is installed. However, as I mentioned before, we get water spilling through this thing, but I think that's under high pressure, that's why. So the water under high pressure will shoot back through this opening and leak inside the water heater. But the water is not dangerous. I'll give this a little tight. A little shaky. It needs a tight. That's all it needs for now, so let's go ahead and place this inside the water heater. Maybe a little lubrication for this rubber seal. That's the seal for the vent. Again, this water heater is made very smart, very easy to work on, very easy to replace parts. I only wish we didn't have those problems with the leaking heat exchangers. In my opinion, the problem is not the stainless steel they use for the heat exchanger itself, but for the solder they use to join the parts of the heat exchanger. So I think this is where it's leaking from. All right, so we need to go like this. All right. Once you get one screw, it stays in place. Okay. I'm not completely tightening those screws yet. I want to allow for some flexibility so I can move the heat exchanger around when I connect to the water pipes. The heat exchanger comes with a new ignition rods, some new water flow sensors, temperature sensors already pre-attached, so you don't really have to transfer all those things to your new water heater. Make sure those connections are properly lubricated, which they are in this case. Let's see. Okay. Very easy. I love those connections. That's it. This is all it holds. The pipe, and they're reliable. I have never had problems with those things here. They're very reliable. This here. We're not using this. I need to transfer this. There we go. Cool. Alright. Let's put the fan assembly back. And make sure this ring is in place. Sometimes it gets displaced, it falls out. If you don't make sure it's there, this is when you can have problems. I'll grease it. Now this, when you put this in place, this actually makes sure, it tells you that you have put everything in the right place. Okay. When you put back this gas pipe, which brings the gas from the gas valve into the blower fan. So basically how this water heater works is it mixes the natural gas, the fuel, with the air before it injects the mixture into the burner. So pretty smart. Like older water heaters will mix the fuel and the air in the burner chamber, but with these newer condensing water heaters, the mixture is already mixed prior to introducing in the burning chamber. So make sure the seals are still in place as well when putting this gas pipe, like this. Make sure the seal is still there. Looking good. Everything in place. Now I'll take a moment to dry out the water inside the water heater, because that way I will be able to properly check for leaks. So let's do that. Paper towels work the best for this task. Some of my YouTube followers are commenting on my other tankless videos, especially on the one that I have for installation of a Navien tankless water heater, saying Navien is crap. No, it's not crap. It's still my favorite water heater, because I think it has the smartest design, easiest to work on. You see how quick it was to replace this heat exchanger. Now there's problems with all of them. As you see, I have few videos for with a Norritz heat exchanger replacement. It doesn't matter which water heater you buy, you have problems with it. So I don't know why it happens, but it just happens. Doesn't matter which brand name you buy, you will have problems. It's just a matter of a personal luck. It may happen to you, or it may never happen for the lifetime of the water heater, which is no more than 15 years for a tankless. Right, that's looking good. when I connect these, I always expose them first. I want to make sure they really go in the right place and fully click in. Expose the metal part and then visually make sure it goes in the right place and clicks in deep enough. So let's tighten those screws here now for the heat exchanger. Alright, those are left over because the new heat exchanger had already some of the plastic water receptors pre-installed. This is also to be used with a different model. The heat exchanger can't fit more than one model. This is why you might have some extra parts there. So let's turn on the water and check for leaks. First, of course, shut off these valves. Those are the flush valves. This water heater has never been flushed. It's a little over 3 years old, but putting a new heat exchanger makes that obsolete. That's like basically getting a brand new water heater. So no flush is necessary here. Okay, the system is pressurized. Everything looks good. Now, once the system is pressurized, those clamps no longer spin freely, so that's a way to make sure that everything is good. Let me open the water to the house as well. Plug in the water heater. Turn it on. And usually, if I had missed to connect a wire, I would have gotten an error code right here. So Even if you disconnect one single wire, you get an error code and you know there's something wrong. You have to go back and maybe check your work. Everything's looking good. So actually having the holes already connected here allows me to get the water heater working by opening this valve, and I'm filling the bucket with hot water. Here we go, the water heater lit. The little flame is on. I'm getting hot water, I can tell to the touch, and I can see the blue flame inside the heat exchanger. Okay, we have successfully replaced the heat exchanger in this water heater. That concludes this video for today. Please give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.